Showing the students that the story that they have as individuals is important and is worthy of being told. I'm not necessarily teaching them how to tell their own stories, but rather I'm giving them the information that they need to know how important it is to tell their own stories.
Telling stories has been something that's really important for the ninth grade multicultural class in general. It's a class that looks at how and why stories matter and the fact that many stories matter. And when we think about American history and the narrative of American history, as we make that more complex and we tell additional stories, our narrative of America changes.
The long-term hope is to give them the inspiration and the drive that they need to take their stories and utilize their stories to kind of build the building blocks to their own personal success, but also to show them the importance of making space for themselves and opening up space for other people.
This final project asks students to apply a lot of the themes that we've learned throughout the year about identity and change, storytellings and narratives, and bring them into our community.
I'm mixed race, which is something that I think people can't tell about me, but I don't actually know. My mother's parents emigrated from India in the early 1960s, and my father's family is Jewish. Being only half of each culture, and not being raised as particularly either of them, I've often felt that I don't really belong to any group, and that I can't really claim either of those identities or heritages as mine. I sometimes feel guilty saying that I'm Indian and a person of color because I don't face as much adversity as people who have darker skin than me. I'm also a dual citizen. My mother grew up in Canada and my grandmother still lives there. I grew up thinking it was normal to cross the border to visit my grandparents, and it was never, before COVID, it was never really a big deal because actually closer than where my other grandparents in the US live. It's just like 6-hour drive. But during COVID, I realized that it actually is a big thing because the border closed, and at the beginning of COVID, my grandfather actually got cancer and died, and we couldn't go to see him, and we couldn't go to see my grandmother for almost a year after that. And even when we did get to go, it was still more difficult than it ever been because of all the precautions that they were taking due to COVID. I also feel some allegiance towards Canada because being from the United States sometimes makes me feel ashamed of all the inequities and unfairness that plague this country.
Hi, my name is Emily T. I'm a freshman at Winchester Thurston High School. My hope for Winchester Thurston is to continue these projects and these stories without covering up others along the way. My experience at Winchester Thurston has been unique from my other schools. I came from a school with 7 classes a day to transitioning into a school with only 3. This project is new to the class this year, and it focuses on the history of WT and the many stories behind it. My favorite aspect about this project is allowing us to share our stories along with listening to others and learning about their history and how it's affected their lives. This has not only helped me and my group expand on our knowledge of the history of WT, but also allow us to examine our own in the process.
I'm Maeve Dever. I'm a freshman here at Winchester, and I've been here for 10 years. I think I could describe my Winchester experience as pretty well over the years. There has been some ups and downs, but overall, I feel like Winchester has been a good fit for me. I play soccer, and through the high school season, I started playing a playing a position in soccer that I've played before, but I didn't really like it. But from there, I went to a new team, and I'm doing really well there. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I don't think I would have been able to do that if I didn't come to Winchester. I think some of the negatives may have been just my transition into middle school, because even though I've been here since kindergarten, I there were a lot of new people coming in, and I didn't really have a solid core group of people to like talk to, so it was definitely a little bit awkward at the beginning. But after a couple months, it like finally clicked, and I feel like I got a lot of new friends.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Matt. I'm a ninth grader at WT. Things I like to do are acting, basketball, I play chess, and I'm a DJ. I grew up around acting, kind of, with my uncle owning a theater, and basically I sold snacks, and I helped build a stage, actually. A thing that I learned when I came to WT is, like, you have to, like, let someone be their self, and when you let someone be their self, you can make friends way more easier than like trying to make someone be who you think they are or who you want them to be. And when you let someone be their self, like, they come out their comfort zone way more, and like they express their feelings and stuff. That's like the biggest thing like I see in this school is like everyone is their self and they don't care like about other people's opinion.